I shop at Goodwill for name brand clothes at bargain prices. Coach, $30.
I shop at Goodwill for one-of-a-kind finds. It's great for decorating on a budget.
I shop at Goodwill because every dollar spent here puts 7 Nevadans to work.
And because we're a nonprofit, there's no sales tax.
So shop.
Shop. It's so good to shop.
Shop and donate today. Pahrumps Goodwill is located in the former Ace Hardware building.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, a local couple loses their business to a structure fire. Police bust another home for pot. And an author appreciation day to be held at the Pahrump Community Library. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Monique Mitchell. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, February 5th, 2014. I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46. Well, a couple who are reported to have a leather shop business on their property have lost everything related to the operation to a fully engulfed structure fire this morning.
2 fully engulfed structures went up here on Plantation and Savannah this morning. Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue arrived on scene along with Nye County Sheriff's deputies to find one of the units fully engulfed. The second one that was in close proximity, the fire extended to that structure as well. Luckily, the home was saved. Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue crews were able to knock down those flames. However, both buildings were a complete loss. They reportedly had a business in which they made weightlifting belts out of leather, and this equipment was not insured, we've been told. Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue are going to investigate the cause of this fire. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Well, Nye County Sheriff's deputies conducted another marijuana bust on a home on Glenoaks streets this morning.
Nye County Hazmat, Nye County Sheriff's deputies, and Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue all arrived on scene to a house on Glenoaks this morning for a drug disposal and collection. Apparently, 8 immature marijuana plants were located inside the residence. It's not clear at this point if any or how many people were arrested as a result of this. Nye County Sheriff's deputies confiscated the drugs as evidence and possible disposal. Nye County Sheriff's deputies are investigating. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Well, congratulations to Valley Electric Association President Tom Husted for being named the 2013 Small Utility CEO of the Year by Electric Light and Power, a nationwide energy trade publication. The award recognizes VEA's rapid expansion and significant community contributions under Husted's leadership. Electric Light and Power's editors selected Husted from a wide variety of CEOs nominated by utilities, vendors, and even utility customers across the nation. The publication spent a month evaluating nominees based on several factors, including profitability under the executive's watch, utility reliability, employee support, customer satisfaction, and community involvement. Husted was recognized in the small utility category, which included CEOs from companies with fewer than 400,000 customers. Well, after the break, Marty Saltz discussed accidental pot poisoning.
Cookies, candy, lollipops, all of these could be deadly for your kids. Problems with pot poisoning, next on Prescription Health.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Albertsons, you're in for something fresh.
Welcome back to News 46. Well, 20 states and the District of Columbia have legalized the use of medical marijuana. With the increase in availability, there has also been a rise in accidental cannabis poisoning by children. Every state is going to face this sooner or later. Marty Saltz shows us how to keep pot away from kids.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Cookies, candy, lollipops. They look good, but these are not your typical treats. This is medical marijuana. Robin Hackett is doing everything she can to keep kids away from these sweets. Keeping them locked in a child-resistant container is the law in Colorado.
It has a locking mechanism that is difficult for a small child under 6 years old.
Child-resistant packaging is required by the federal government for most pharmaceuticals and poisonous products, and it's also required for cannabis.
It would be our advice that all jurisdictions that sell these candies and other edible products be sold with child-resistant packaging.
Accidental pot poisoning spiked following an increase in the widespread sale of medical marijuana in Colorado in 2009.
The majority of those kids actually did get into what we call marijuana edible products, so brownies, cookies, candies, lollipops, and our concern about those were they had potentially high amounts of THC, the active ingredient of marijuana.
In kids, THC affects the brain's control of emotions, thinking, and coordination. Kids are more at risk of using other drugs, having risky sexual behavior, and there's an increased risk of suicide and psychosis. Hackett takes cannabis security as seriously as caring for her cannabis plants. The plants will be for smoking, but it's the edibles in her shop that would be likely to attract kids. That's why Hackett goes beyond what the law requires.
This is a packaging that we would use for a child from the ages of, say, 6 to 12, 13 years old.
And a locking gun box for teenagers.
As a parent, you know your child. You know what type of security that you would need in the motivation of your child.
The best advice? Play it safe, even with medical marijuana, and lock it up. I'm Marty Salt reporting.
While several states have legalized medical marijuana, it is still illegal at the federal level. And now, for the first time in Colorado and Washington states, the use of recreational marijuana is legal. Well, Governor Brian Sandoval says he won't submit a questionnaire to the Nevada Republican Party seeking an endorsement. The first-term Republican told reporters on Tuesday that a GOP committee can look at his 3 years in office and know his position on issues. The state party this year is changing its procedures and inviting Republican candidates to submit answers to 13 questions. Party leaders say they'll use the response to make endorsements before June 10th primary. It's a big change from the past practices when the party generally avoiding getting involved in primary contests. Sandoval is not the only Republican elected official or candidate boycotting the process. Others also say they will not participate. Well, Alaska has more rape and violence against women than any other state. The per capita rate is about 3 times the national average. In America's last frontier state, nearly 80 instances of rape are reported per 100,000 people, the data shows. Nationally, the rate is 27 per 100,000. The state with the second highest rate of reported rape behind Alaska is South Dakota, with a rate of 70 per 100,000. The FBI cautions against comparing crime rates across the state without considering factors like demographics, climate, culture, economics, and law enforcement capabilities. Rape is notoriously underreported nationwide, so take these numbers as estimates. The 2010 survey show 59% of adult women in Alaska experience intimate partner violence, including threats and/or sexual assault, and 37% suffer from rape or sexual violence. Well, it's time to get ready for ham radio licensing exams. Dick Grady explains.
In March, we're going to have a study program leading to the first license for ham radio, it's called technician license. March 8th, 2014.
And so everybody's going to get together to study for this first exam coming up. And tell me a little bit more details about that.
We want you to download or somehow obtain the question pool and go over it and highlight the correct answers, study them. Maybe a couple of hours a day for a couple of weeks. And then we're going to have a session at 8 o'clock on March 4th, March 8th. From 8 to noon time, we go through all the questions and also answer a few other questions that people have and explain things. Lunch break at 12 to 1. 1 o'clock, the examination session. We're happy to report we have about a 90% pass rate.
How do people get the questions, download them offline or find them?
Well, look, go to the website w7nye.org/news.html. And there's an item there called, on the news item called the Ham Study Group. All the details are in there.
And then they can get ready for this study session that you guys will be having.
Right.
And all the people who want to pass that first technical exam, how many more exams is there, or how far can you go with the ham radio?
Well, how far can you go? In terms of licensing levels, there are 3 licensing levels. Technician, which gives you all privileges above 50 megahertz, which is like roughly all channel 2 frequencies. And then there's general, which is almost all high frequency and talk around the world. And there's also extra, which is a little bit extra frequencies and stuff.
And so you can talk to people over in Vegas with this first exam, then you can start expanding what frequencies that you can. And this study group, once again, let's give the date and time.
The date, date is March 8th. And the time for the class is 8 o'clock in the morning and until noon, and then the examination at 1 o'clock.
And this is all going to happen right behind the Nye County Complex, which is off of Surrey Lane, right across the street from the animal shelter.
That's correct, right across the street from the animal shelter.
For more information, is there a number to call?
Yeah, call me at 751-5242. That's Dick Grady, 751-5242.
All right, folks, we'll keep it here because we're going to have more news for you after this break.